This video is sponsored by Squarespace. I have no idea if this is going to work, but I can't get this idea out of my head, so I have to try. I made some templates for the gingerbread house. It's basically a scaled up version of my tea light house template, but I don't know if it's going to work on this scale. Yesterday, I rolled out some slabs. These are 1 centimeter thick slabs, and I left them overnight to harden up so that they can keep their rigid structure. So the first step is to cut out our shapes. Okay, I cut out one of each shape. You can see this is going to be like a scaled up version of basically this guy. I just really like the proportions of the tea lighthouse template. But I also made one more slab, and this is going to be some kind of base. I think I want to be able to put like maybe a little path, definitely like little trees or like something on the outside, so it needs some more exterior space. I don't know how big I'm going to be, so I'm just gonna like kind of set this aside for now and figure it out later. But first things first, we are going to assemble this guy. And if you did the tea light house, I'm gonna assemble it exactly the same. The first part is always the hardest, that's for sure. To get it from flat to tall. And this is the part where I'm worried about. The success of this part completely relies on like getting the moisture level right. Like I need to make sure these aren't overly floppy. He needs to be able to hold himself, right? But of course not being too dry that I can't attach them together. Sorry, the sun is going in and out. It is what it is. Okay. So I'm cutting each end at a 45-degree angle, and basically we're mitering the ends together. Okay. The rest is easy. Just attaching the first two does stress me out a little bit. It should be okay. So I'm gonna add a little bit of water on the seam just because they are dried out a little bit, the slabs. And then, I'm stuck. There we go. Okay, wait. So I'm gonna try and attach them as 45-degree angle as I can. You can see what I'm doing. Okay, I panicked for no reason. It's fine. We got strong slabs. Okay, quickly, I'm gonna do the other one. Okay, that was shockingly smooth. I did not expect it to go that easily. Okay, I'm going to, before I attach the roof, I'm going to attach some coils along the inside just to reinforce it a bit. Is that even? Should be even. It looks, no, I'm crazy. Okay, it's even. Okay, before I attach the roof, I'm going to put some coils in along the inside to reinforce that connection. This isn't absolutely necessary for the small one. You can do it, of course, if you want to, but I'm doing it for this one because it's so big and there's like so much surface area to it that it will help. I am using this clay. It's called Indian Summer from Callega for this entire project. And I know it looks like not the color of gingerbread right now. It's not going to look like that once it's fired. It's going to look, it's going to look like this when it's fired, which actually the color of this clay is the whole reason I came up with this project, because does this not just look like gingerbread? I mean, I know this looks like cardboard, but the color of the clay, I think it's gonna be perfect. debating right now whether to attach the roof first or the base first, because whichever one I attach last, I'm not going to be able to add a reinforcement coil because it's going to be like closed. It's going to be a closed shape. I mean, I'm going to cut stuff out, but it's just, I'm not going to have access to it. And I think the base is more important. I believe so, because we don't want this thing breaking off of the base. I'm going to put some newspaper underneath it so that it can move as it shrinks, as it dries. I believe in you. I'm realizing now I have to choose the front. Do we want the front to be on this side? Or do we want the front to be on this side? I was thinking this side. Yeah, because the way I place this is kind of crucial. Okay, we're gonna go with this. I wanna, decorate the front a little bit more than the sides, I imagine. So I'm gonna leave a little extra gap here. How am I supposed to score the bottom of this thing? Oh. I might have waited until tomorrow to do this part. We got this. Now, if you're a seasoned slab builder and you see me attaching these parts to make like a more closed form, and you know that this is a recipe for cracks as these different parts shrink differently, don't worry, I'm going to cut out a good amount of the slab that's underneath, like on the inside of the house, to allow for that kind of warpage as it's shrinking. But for now, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We shall deal with that. It's a little bit more robust. Did they ever do this project on the Great Pottery Throwdown? Because I feel like this is such a Pottery Throwdown coded project somehow. We are solid. Let's take a little break to talk about today's sponsor, Squarespace. If you've never heard about Squarespace before, they're an all-in-one website platform that artists and entrepreneurs use to stand out and succeed online. I've been using Squarespace pretty much ever since I started my online business because it has incredibly easy-to-use features, including their drag-and-drop website builder and integrated SEO tools. Whether you're just starting out or managing a thriving brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a beautiful website to sell anything from physical products to memberships, digital products, and even services. You can also schedule appointments, create on-brand invoices, and send newsletters. And for the artists watching, I know you will love their cutting-edge design tools, where you can create a bespoke website that perfectly fits your brand or business. So head to squarespace.com right now for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/potterytothepeople for 10% off your very first website or domain. Now let's get back to the video. I'm having flashbacks right now to the Nerd Forge project that I didn't attach the roof right away. Or like I left one side of the roof open. Why did I do that? And do I need to do it here too? Or did I do it because I messed up? If only there was a record of some kind. That looks pretty good. The thing to do is just ones that I haven't cut out yet. I think I'm just gonna add it. I'm not sure I had a good enough reason to risk not adding it. We have a solid house that I feel like is doing pretty good. Like, Feels very stable, solid. I think we did it today. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up in plastic for 24 hours now so it can homogenize, it can harden up, and it can kind of, you know, the seams can kind of dry out a little bit. And then tomorrow we get to come back in and do the detail work, which is the fun part. And I probably should figure out how I'm going to design it. I need to still figure that out, but maybe I'll just do it on the fly. All right, see you tomorrow. Good morning. This guy has homogenized overnight. He's looking pretty good. Now I want to add all of the details today. I made a little sketch last night about what I want to do. This is as far as we've gotten. I think I do want to freestyle it a little bit because I want to be able to react to the shape and what it's feeling like it wants to be. So, gosh, where am I going to even start here? I think cut out the windows, add the structural elements, and then the details. That makes sense. What I'm mostly excited to do today is add the icing. It's gonna be fun. Okay, slight change of plans. Originally I was planning on doing the white parts also today, but it's just a little on the wet side and I don't want to work with it when it's too muddy. I need to be very clean and not let the clays mix because then it's just gonna get muddy, right? Also, it's basically dusk now, so it's time to call it a day. But I'm really, really pleased with how it's looking. I am so getting flashbacks to the Nerd Forge video. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link it somewhere up here. Definitely go check it out if you're enjoying this video because so many of the construction elements that I'm implementing in this project were inspired by that project. So in particular, do you see how I added this giant window in the back? That is so I can get my hand in here. So when I'm attaching something, I can support it, and that's been really, really helpful. So yeah, I'm really liking how it looks, but I'm very excited for tomorrow. It's starting to look very gingerbready, but I think when we add the white, it's going to look even more gingerbready. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this in plastic and hopefully everything will homogenize, harden up a little bit, and then we'll get to the white stuff tomorrow. Good morning. The goal today is to finish this bad boy. In order to do that, we have to add some solid elements and we have to add some slip. And I'm mostly excited about the slip, but we have to do the solid elements first, I fear. Also, probably tidying up a little bit. We need a bit of a tidy. So I want to add some solid white elements now for, I guess it's mostly the candy cane elements. It's the candy canes and the peppermints, the little extra candy bits. I think it makes sense to, do the frosting part last. Ooh, and also I want to make some trees. I'm not sure, I don't know what sort of candy this is going to be, but I really want to add some sort of green element to this somehow. So I want to add some trees. So we're gonna make candy canes, peppermints, and Christmas trees. I have not actually tested this white sticking to the brown clay. I hope it's gonna stick. I hope it's gonna shrink more or less at the same rate. I mean, they fire to the same temperature, so I feel like it should be fine, but I definitely should have made a test first. What else is new? What are we thinking? Here's the deal. I'm starting to rethink my trees, partially because like the plan was to put 2 here, but it's getting kind of crowded and I still have to add all of the lush piping. And also like these sides, like my plan was to kind of squish them to make them fit. Like I wanted to put trees on the side. You see my sketch. I wanted to put trees on the side and in the back as well. But I don't know what I want to do. Like, the issue is I don't actually have my red sample yet. I bought a new glaze for the red because the reds I have they're not the right color red, but I don't have a sample for that yet. And I'm assuming that color is going to work. If not, our backup is underglaze, but I'm really hoping it works. So like, just using this rib as like an example, like, so this is the main color, right? And then we have a lot of white and then a lot of red. Do we also want to add green? Or is that too many colors? You know what I mean? I feel like it's too many colors, but I'm also worried that this is too few colors. I don't know. It's really hard to visualize how it's going to look. And then I feel like the front could be finished, especially once we add the piping, and the sides look fine. But the back, I definitely need to do something to the back still. I was thinking I could make them like, you know how like those flat Christmas tree cookies are? They're just make some more like gingerbread colored clay and like lean them against so it would look like flat Christmas trees leaning against the gingerbread. I could do that, but then I feel like I need to add something referencing that in the front. Maybe not. Maybe that's the solution. I can do a peppermint here, and then two-dimensional trees instead of the 3-dimensional trees, because there's not enough room on here anyway. Like I really should have given more space for the base. I did not. That means I need to roll out some more brown clay. Yeah, I can do that. I'm so tickled by these peppermints, especially the dots. The sticks, I don't know. Before I make my little back trees, see, I want to make these little dots on the top. Or should I pipe that? Honestly, I want to pipe and then put the dots on top, but I don't think I can do that. I think I'm gonna pretend. It's gonna look super cute. Okay. My cookie clay is not dry yet, so we're going to move on to the moment we've all been waiting for, applying the frosting. So this is white slip. It's the same exact clay as this clay. I just took some dried clay, added water, and used this guy, my immersion blender, my brand new immersion blender. It's actually not new, but I stole it from my kitchen. So it's new to the studio. And this helped really well to make some gorgeous, like super thick slip. And then I also sieved it. And I debated getting some piping bags for this. I don't have piping bags, but what I do have is these guys. And I did a few tests with them and it actually works really well. I can also use these guys for maybe finer lines. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, but I think I can do some cool textures with this. So let's do it. Let's be brave. I'm a little worried that I just majorly messed this up. It is just not nearly as tidy as I wanted to / expected. I don't know why. I think maybe my hole is not big enough, but then I wanted the line to be quite tiny. So I don't know. I'm hoping that I can, once it's drier, I can kind of go in and smooth it out with a paintbrush, maybe, but I have to be really careful to not smudge it too much. I did leave a gap here because I'm gonna add some frills. So I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try and save it and do that now. Let's see if I make it worse or not. Okay, we like that. This is what I'm trying for. A bit more tidiness, I guess. Oh God. Ah. Okay, the second side is not as bad as the first side. I guess there's a bit of a learning curve with this. Yeah. I think when it's put all together, it's gonna look fine, because when does a gingerbread house look perfect anyway, right? I think we're gonna live with it. Okay, wow, I think we're done. I don't want to add too much. Like, of course I could just keep adding and adding and adding. I was thinking about adding more of these cookies up here, but I think I'm gonna say it's enough. I think I'm gonna say it's enough. I really have a hard time with such projects knowing when to stop. And it's usually best when I stop before I want to. This has been my experience. I have no idea if this is gonna look like a hot mess or if this is gonna look really cool, but I'm going to let it dry out for a very long time, very slow, very long and slow, and I'll get back with you when it's ready to load into the kiln. Wait, should I add? I wanna add a border. We're gonna add a quick border to the roof, and then we're gonna call it a day. Okay, our gingerbread house has been drying for a while. I would say a week and a half to 2 weeks, something like that. I think it's dry, so I want to load it in the kiln. Lift it like this. Ooh, it is not light. First I need to get the paper off. This can't go in. I'm gonna just lift it like this. Okay. Yeah. All right, little guy, be good. The kiln is cool enough to open it. Let's hope we're good. My fear is, as usual, cracks. Anything that fell off that I did not attach properly because I did fuse 2 different clays together. So that is a little sketchy. Okay. Looks fine. Oh, I do find one crack. Oh, there's another. We have some cracks. Whether or not they're structural is TBD. Like these posts have pretty much all pulled away from the clay, which means they're drying at different rates, which means they don't play well together. Some of these have also pulled away, which means I need to be, sorry, the sun, which means I need to be very careful. Okay, I need to. Some of these little bits have also pulled away, so I need to be very careful about this when glazing. Okay, let me talk to you about how we want to glaze this. So I made some samples here about how I want to glaze this. I don't know if you can tell that well, like on camera. You can tell a lot better in person. I used a transparent glaze on top of this one and then a white glaze on top of this one. So this is the color of the clay that this is going to eventually be. Very gingerbready, but I thought that the transparent glaze might be better to use because I'm worried about like only glazing the white parts because I can't imagine I'm going to be able to be as precise and glaze all these little without getting any glaze on the gingerbread part. So I thought I would use a transparent glaze, but I really don't like it. I really don't like it. I do think it really needs to be white because it just looks more like icing. Like the transparent glaze is just not as vibrant as I want it to be. And honestly, the transparent glaze spillage and the white glaze spillage is pretty much the same. So there might be a little bit of spillage onto the gingerbread part. I'm gonna try to avoid it. We'll see how it goes. I don't even know if I wanna paint it or if I wanna like use the little, what do you call that thing? Squirty guy? One of these little guys? And then of course, we're going to add our red in on the peppermints. And I'm thinking I wanna also glaze these little guys red just to spice it up a little bit. This white is fairly thick, so I feel like I can just do one layer. I added a lot of that glaze glue in. Let's do this. I feel like that was the most boring montage ever because painting white on white, I promise you guys it's going to be really important that I did that and really worth it in the end. I'm also just looking here trying to make sure I didn't miss anything because I can hardly, even in person, it's really hard to tell the difference between the bisque and the glazed bits. Okay, I think I got everything. So now we're gonna do something that you will actually be able to see. We're gonna paint on the red details. Glaze is unfortunately a lot less thick than the white one. Actually, like I added, I think too much of that glue to the white glaze, which made it really gloopy, which honestly in the end really helped a lot with glazing. I don't know, I'm like only very recently experimenting a lot more with paint on glazes. Maybe you've noticed I used to do a lot more dipping glazes, but now I'm doing more of this sculptural stuff. So I gotta get my system down. I gotta get my recipe right. I'm just thinking I'm gonna have to definitely paint a couple of layers of this red though, because it's not going on very thickly. That's fine. I worry that it still kind of looks like nothing to you guys. Glaze just isn't very bright until you fire it, all right? So I'm done. I'm very anxious. What I'm nervous about is that it's not like the tidiest of glazing applications. It's really not. The tricky thing with painting with glaze on or next to unglazed parts is that you can't control glaze that well. Like, it's not paint. So I did my best. We shall see how it turns out. I'm very, very excited. And yeah, let's let it in the kiln. All right, be good. Nervous. Oh my. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous is this? The sun is crazy, but I think it looks kind of great. I am so freaking happy with this. Okay, wow. I think the glazing actually worked really, really well in terms of the white icing glazing. It totally, like, there's a little bit of spillage, but it totally works. It totally works. I don't know, I'm not bothered by that at all. I do like the pure red. Like, you can tell the difference between just the painted red and then the red that I painted over the white. I wasn't sure how to deal with the peppermint candy cane parts, so I just painted the red over the white. I feel like it's fine. I do wish it was a little bit more bold, but it's totally, totally fine. Overall, wait, what happened to our cracks? Where are our cracks? Okay, that one's still there, but it's not any deeper. Where was the other one? I thought there were two. Oh, there, okay. Yeah, I mean, the cracks exist, but like, they're not, you don't notice them unless you're looking for them, I think. Like, even the inside, it looks also clean and tidy. I'm so happy with this. I think it looks so nice. I think it's gonna look so beautiful on my shelf or on my table, or I'm not sure where I'm going to put it, but it's going to look so nice for Christmas. Before you go, I wanna show you one thing. What do we think? Pretty cool. I don't know, I like it both with and without the lights. I think it looks so magical and cozy either way. All right, friends, if you want to make this, I will have the template for this available for free down below in the video description. Just click the link down there and it will lead you to the template. That's it for me for this year. I wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I will see you next year. Bye, friends.